Good evening. Today is the 16th of August and this is the White Horse in Ampfield near Romsey. It is possibly the busiest spot in the area at this particular time. This is the classic and interesting car show. Also got some bikes here and it is crazy. I thought the show at Cranley that I attended at the weekend was busy, and it was, but for some reason here is even busier and there's just not enough space. But it's okay, we will do our best to go round and see what we can find. I think we'll start in this area. It looks a little less busy, so I do apologise if I fall over, if I get things wrong, if there's wind noise. I'm afraid that's just the way that it goes on this channel. Start off with this Morris Minor Tourer. This is a Minor 1000, so we're looking at sort of late 50s, early 60s with this car. It's in really nice condition, this actually. So yeah, it's a 57. It's very similar in age to the one my mother had. It wasn't a Tourer one she had, it was just a normal two-door saloon. She had that from about 1969, I think it was, until 1983. It is still around. A friend of mine used to own it as well, but this particular one is a bit more valuable than the two doors. It's I think a factory tour of this. I have driven a Morris Minor. It was not a 948cc like this one. It was a 1098, which is a bit more common, but this is known as the Green Pea. Been in the family since knew this one apparently. Have a look at this little Onyx here. I wonder what this Onyx is actually based on. I think we've seen this before, haven't we, viewers? Someone's very wisely taken the steering wheel off because there's not an awful lot else to do in terms of security. It wears a registration from 83, 84, but I suspect this car was kind of put together a little bit later because those stalks are off a sort of later kind of Metro, I think. Looks like an A-series engine in there, so it's probably mini-based, I should think, one of these. Can't remember where I saw this before. Anybody can remember where I've seen this before, then please do put it in the comments section. And we have a Ford Capri. This is a Capri 280 Brooklands. These were all made in 1986. The registration number of this one is not corresponding with the year. They're actually registered from D plate all the way through to G plate because, well, for some reason Capris weren't very popular at the end of their production life. Although they've been made just for the UK market for the last 2 years. 84 to 86 was just for us. But eventually we sort of got, I don't know, a bit more enamoured with things like the XR3Is and the RS Cosworth, things like that. 1978 Alpha Sud. We have seen this before. This is a car owned by one of the fellow members of the Tasmanian Motor Enthusiasts. It is ever so nice. I am hoping at some point in my life to have a go in this very Alpha Sud. Saw it at the Bracefield show in early October last year, actually, first of all. It doesn't come out too much in the winter, as you can understand, because it's an Alpha Sud. But, you know, it's very nice. Apparently it's very nice to drive, which I do believe. 5-speed gearbox, which was quite something for a little car like this in the 1970s. Then we've got very nice Lotus Elise, I think this is, rather than an Exige. I think this is a rather late one. They finished production very recently. I think it was last year these finished. Still got those Mark III Cavalier indicator and wiper stalks though, and I've still got the mirrors off an old Rover 100, but never mind. Makes it even more characterful than it otherwise would have been. So is that, it could be an Exige actually. I'm not sure. I'm not really good at that sort of stuff. But we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 Jaguar XKs all together here this evening, which is absolutely amazing. This one's an XK 150. Can't remember what year this is. Sometimes you can tell because they have the little Le Mans winners badge on here, and you can tell it's after a certain time. And this is 1957 or later. You can see with the 140 here that this one actually does again have a Le Mans winner badge, 51 to 3. And this would be 55, 56, something like that. Very nice. I'm going to have to pick my favourite of these XKs in a moment, and it will be very, very difficult. I don't really know which one I'm going to pick. Oh, thank you very much. It is looking very nice. So we've got another one here, another XK 140. Both drop head coupes, these ones. I mean, that's a really nice interior. That's a really nice interior. I don't know, it's going to be hard, this, viewers. It's like, what do you want? Like, really good or really good? It's you can't really lose, can you? Gee, this is an XK 140 as well, but all three of them are. The 150s, that one over there, but these are actually 140s. I don't know. I think for me, it's probably going to be a pass, because I can't decide. But never mind, you know, we'll think of something else to look at in a second. A bit of a later Jaguar here. This is a Jaguar E-Type V12. It's a Series 3. It's actually an automatic one. But the thing that sets this out for me, I mean, I don't know what year this is actually, it's a personal plate on this, but it is dark green, and I believe that is a beige leather interior. One thing we don't have is any wood, which is surprising for an old Jag. We don't have any wood on the interior, but I mean, it's very nice. I mean, I definitely would have a go in one of these. I've driven an E-Type a while ago. It was a Series 1 2+2. This is a 2+2 as well, but it's a much later one. If we go sort of up here, we'll have to kind of climb on this wall. We can see that this event is completely full. It's like full to the bursting. We haven't even got anywhere near the main area of it. But we have this Series 2A Land Rover, Coventry plate. This is a 64. And someone actually put some different seats in this. And they brought their child along with them as well, which is fantastic. We're glad to see. And then we've got, just behind it, a Porsche 911 964. I forget exactly what year this would be. Again, a personal plate. This one's the Tiptronic, and it's the Carrera 2 convertible. Very nice alloy wheels on that. Very standard. I don't think they are. I think they're off maybe sort of like a sort of high specification model than that Carrera 2. And we also have something very nice here. The owner of this last time actually wrote a comment on the video about this. It's not a G40 this. It's not a G40 by any stretch of the imagination. Not that it matters particularly or anything like that, but it is a very late Mark II facelift Polo Coupe. It's actually got some different wheels. They're actually off an Audi, the wheels on this. They're not off a Polo or anything at all. They're off an Audi 80, I think. But yeah, I think it's a 94, actually, would be on an M. We've not even got any rev counter. We've got a 4-speed gearbox. I think it's a Fox or something sort of lowly down there, which is sort of thing people like anyway, so we'll be alright. Caterham 7, quite a late one, 7 160S. It's got 2014 plates on it, but those might well be personal ones. So what year this is, I have absolutely no idea. They've kind of looked the same for a long time, haven't they? This, on the other hand, is a bit older. I mean, it's maybe like 90 to 100 years older. We've not even got headlamps on the wings. We've got them up there. So it's some kind of extremely old Rover, but it's much older than all the Rovers I've owned. I'd say that's maybe like early 20s or something. I really sometimes would like information sheets in cars so that I don't have to sort of guess. That would be good, wouldn't it, viewers? Mini here, we've seen this before. Quite a few of the cars actually here we have seen before. I'm going to have to make that journey across that road at some point as well, so we can actually get everything in. So yeah, 97, 98 registration. Quite a late one, definitely a Mark 7. Oh, I forgot about this. It's got a part beige leather interior as well. That's rather nice. That does appeal to me, viewers. 1963 Triumph TR4 in this kind of typical colour that they always came in, this kind of light blue. Obviously prepared for some competition. Look at all those sort of switches and things in there. It did make a very nice noise. I saw the gentleman reversing next to me when he came in, which was good. And then we've got probably the sort of weirdest pairing we've ever seen. We've got the Volvo 460 here with the for sale sign on it. And then next to it we've got this 1930 Rolls Royce owned by a fellow member of Test Friendly Motor Enthusiasts. His name is Phil. Him and his lady wife are coming in it tonight. They go all over the place. We went to France in this recently. I mean, you've probably seen it, mostly regular viewers, many times before. And it's just attracting so much attention this evening, which is not surprising really. But also attracting attention is this Porsche 911 SC. I think we saw this at the Peter Green show back in June. 1980 to 1991 registration. I don't know what specification this originally was, but it looks kind of like it's in sort of sporting colours or something. It's one of the only cars I've ever seen where orange alloy wheels look really good, and they certainly do. We'll go over here actually, with Harley Davidson, I don't know much about that. This is a Jaguar Mark 7 in 1955, and this was actually registered, I think, in Bournemouth, which is quite close to here, so it's not been too far in its life. It is just enormous. It's absolutely huge. It's a lovely colour, this. It's very typical of the kind of era, that sort of colour, but it is just huge. A lot smaller here is this 1934 Morris 10-4, and we can see Paddington is here as well, and he's not got any marmalade sandwiches on him today, which is a shame because I'm hungry, but you know, we're going inside and have some food at the pub. Who's this? Can't remember who that is now. It's not Orville. Orville's a different colour, I think. Another friend down there as well. It's classic and interesting car. So an Abarth 695. I don't know exactly what year this is. The 595 and 695 petrols have only very recently been discontinued because the old fire engine in them is not suitable really for modern emission standards. One Ford Escort Mexico. There'll be another one coming up soon. This is a Mark II. It's a relatively late one. Whether this is a genuine Mexico, I don't actually know. Could well be. Look at those seatbelts. They're interesting, aren't they? Some clasps in there. Yeah, 4-speed gearbox, 2-door shell. Not completely perfect, but that doesn't really matter. On a V, so 79 to 80. Past the motorbike and go on to this amazing Mark II Ford Granada. This is a really, really early Mark II Granada. They were launched in, I think it was August 1977, and this is on an Essex plate. This is a 2.8 gear, and someone's also put in a leather interior. Now, this wouldn't have come standard with this, but it has one, and I think that gearbox actually may be non-standard as well. The gearboxes I think were put in these, if they were the manuals, tended to be the Type 9s. But this is the injection gear. That is fabulous. Mr. Coleman Roche Mechanic is going to have a photograph of that later on. 1967-68 Triumph 2.5 PI with the Lucas mechanical fuel injection. The American ones of these, the TR250s, had carbs on them. Sort of last of this kind of design, which sort of came in with the TR4. I think it's 61. Then we have MGTC. I don't actually know what year this is, to be honest. I have done a reg check on it, and it was imported, you know, quite recently into this country. So I'm not actually sure what year that is. Maybe somebody could tell me approximately. This one, I'm a bit easier to date. This would have been originally a bumper car. This one. This is an MGB. It's a very late one. 1980 to 1981 registration. Production finished in 1980. Some people like to do the chrome bumper conversion. I prefer them either with these. If you want to take the bumpers off, just take them off. I prefer them with the original bumpers on, but some people like the look of the chrome bumper ones. That's just the way that things are. Sort of Bergerac vibe going on here. 1948 Triumph Roadster. Does it say this one is the yeah, this is the 1.8. I think the one in Bergerac was a 2 litre, which was a bit later. This is one of the earlier cars, but it is the same colour. I don't think it's the same car or anything. One thing they've actually put up very kindly is the dicky seat. I'm not really sure I'd last particularly long in there. It looks a little bit uncomfortable to me, but some people like that kind of thing, don't they? Sort of biscuit interior on this one. 2005 MGTF, very late one. That's interesting gear lever. Is that standard, that one, an MGTF at this age? Somebody in the comment section below can tell me. I'm not sure it was one of the special editions. Normally special editions like the Spark had the name on the back. Oh, we've got something for sale here, and it's a bit more expensive than my Volvo is. Jensen Interceptor 3, 1972-73. And, oh yes, call 07843 699 055 for more information. We have in here a very nice cream leather interior. No wood. I'm not sure the Interceptors really went into the wood, really. But we did go in for this sort of amazing styling. It's very handsome car, always, the Interceptor. And they are worth a lot more than that they used to be, for obvious reasons. So we got then a Triumph TR3, so we've got TR4 and a TR5 actually. I think we see some other Triumphs here as well. Another biscuit interior, live arena. Obviously been to some shows and things, which is good. It's very tight with this wall in the way, you can't really get back far enough to sort of look at the backs of the cars really, but there we go. So yes, very nice, sort of biscuit interior rather than a beige one. Another Land Rover here, this one, I'd like to say it's another Series 2A, but I'm not actually sure. It could be a Series 2. Maybe somebody in the comment section below can tell me if that's it's a 2 or 2A. Then we've got another Escort Mexico. This is a Mark 1, quite a late one, 73-74 registration, so a facelift one, and it is absolutely immaculate. It makes me sort of bringing the Volvo here tonight makes me feel like it's a bit tatty really, but never mind. Look at that, Adelard's, Brixton and Clapham Common, and the old 01 number from the 70s. Amazing. Right, let's go down the far end and see if we can actually kind of get round here, because otherwise we're going to be here all evening. So Lotus Elise, that other one must be an Exige, because the back end's completely different. So this is definitely an Elise, actually it's in the rear window, which is good. Don't know what year this is, personal plate. Oh yes, and the good old Rover 100 mirrors. For some reason that hasn't got the Vauxhall Cavalier Mark III indicator and wiper stalks anymore. Yes, it's an interesting car enough. Also interesting is this Mini Clubman. There is a 1275 GT around here somewhere as well, but this is a Clubman, Isle of Wight registration, 1972-73. It says GT on the back, but it says Clubman as well, so I don't know really what that means. But there we go. I think this colour is blaze red. Make sure I don't fall over or anything more than I used to. But yeah, I thought the 1275 GTs would have a different sort of badge on them, but in fact it says Clubman on there. Just there's something going on, but I'm not sure. Of course, here is a Mark 1 Golf GTI, 1983 to 1984 registration, with Mark II, I think bottle cap wheels they call those, and the carbon fibre roof. So this CLK, I think this belongs to one of the people who actually owns this place. And, oh yes, please, a beige leather interior. Very nice. This is the avant-garde model. I'll have to have a look in a second to see if we can actually see a badge on the back, but we'll move on to this Corvette Stingray. Saw quite a few of these actually at the Cranley Lions show. This is quite an early one actually. It's on a G, so 68, 69 this would be. Just an amazing looking car, you know, then and now. This one's an auto. I can't remember if you could get a manual. I think you could with these. Yeah, so it's 280 that one. Then it's taken us quite a while, but we've actually found another MGB. There's actually not that many, comparatively speaking, here today, especially not in this section, but we'll find more down there, I'm sure. What's that? Yeah, it's an H, so 69 to 70 in green. Next to it is, I don't even know what this is actually. It's for sale as well. It's got some mini lights on it. And it's, I think this is some kind of AC Cobra replica. Actually, yeah, the shape of it. It's just a sort of unfinished one. So 5,750 only. It's very cheap for one of these. Next to it is another Cobra replica, but rather more up together. This one, it's got sort of like a more contemporary plate on it. Sort of. That's 68, 69. This is 67, 68. But I don't know what kit that is. I imagine it's not a real one. Otherwise, it probably wouldn't be here actually. Yeah, the switches in the middle are far more modern than the original Cobras. Another friend just down there. This Porsche again. I can't remember actually what kit this is. It's not a real 356. It is based on a sort of Beetle chassis, I think. I can't remember what age this is now, but it's quite an authentic looking one in terms of the sort of dials and everything, isn't it? Right, make sure we don't fall over here, viewers. Something else here as well. This actually might be a real Lancia Stratos. It could be a Hawk Stratos, which is the kind of replica, but it's left-hand drive, and I heard it come in, and it sounded absolutely amazing. So a plate on this would suggest actually that it's a real one. I mean, someone can do a check for me and tell me, but yeah, 73, 74 would be about right for one of these. It's really funny seeing this actually parked next to a kind of rally replica Triumph TR7 V8. This has got a 4-litre V8, which we never would have had. But 76, 77 registration, this one, with the Marina door handles, opposed to the sort of Fiat type door handles that are on this one. But it's interesting to see both of these together. That's pretty extraordinary, viewers. You might, take a photograph of those two together, actually. And look at this, in Lotus Esprit. I think this is a Series 2, because the wing mirrors are different on this. I could be wrong, it could be earlier, but I think it's a Series 2. The fact it says World Car Award in 78 is just a little bit later than that. Peugeot 205 1.6 GTI, 1989 to 90. This one's had the wheels painted different colour, but they are actually sort of original type wheels for one of these. The tyres look a bit interesting, don't they? Very nice in there. Do we actually have still got windy windows? Yeah, we've still got windy windows in there. Golf R32 2003 to 4. NB MX5 2002 facelift model. Is this a 6-speed, viewers? I've no idea. It has got air conditioning though, so it must be one of the sort of higher spec ones. Very standard looking one actually, apart from that air filter there, which obviously wouldn't have been standard. And we've got another 2-door Escort Mark 1, another Mexico 72, 73. It's the same colour as the other one as well, actually, this. Yeah. Again, modified for competition. Another NBMX5, 2003 plate. I have driven one of these, and the one I drove was a 2003. It was very similar to this one. Like this one, it was a 6-speed. A lot of them were just 5 speeds. You've got to watch the rust on these, obviously, viewers. That's the main problem with them. Apart from that, they are pretty good. 1972-73 Triumph Spitfire Mark IV with the 1.3 engine, this one. The 1.5 came a bit later. This looks really good. It's got the overdrive and everything. Then a Nissan 300 ZX, fully kind of kitted out and slightly modified. This might be actually a Fairlady Z rather than a 300 ZX, because in Japan they were still known as a Fairlady, I think, back in the day. So let's have a look on here. So hello to Matt MVV3 and JDM Johns Z32 on Instagram. That was that plate 92, 93. Yeah, Fairlady Z on the back. And we have a TR6 as well, so we're doing quite well for Triumph TRs this evening, viewers. We've got most of them. Quite an early TR6, this one. They came out 1969, and it was 6970 plate. So another Jaguar XK. This is another XK 150. You can see it sort of squeezed to this little corner here because there's just no space. Let's get round the front, not fall over or anything here. There we go. Lovely. Next row, BMW Z4 2006 to 7. This is the 2.5. I bet that sounds actually really good. I kind of want to have a go in one of these, actually. The back here, there's a Ford Cougar with a V6 engine, but it looks a bit forlorn. I mean, this is definitely a classic now, I'd say. It's a 2000. These are pretty rare because the rot on them is terrible. But it's very similar to the Mark II Mondeo, similar to underneath. Could be wrong about that though. And then MGA was told that this was here. Must be an early one, just to have the little MG Elmer grill. So on the side grills there, not the front one. So yeah, sort of mid to late 50s. 2005 to 6 Ford Mustang, probably a V8. 996 Porsche 911. This is one of the early ones actually, just headlamps. Is it just like a Carrera 2? No, it's a Carrera 4. Excellent. And this is the Tiptronic, like the one that I drove. That was a Carrera 2 back in December. I think the chap who actually owns that has actually sold it. Oh wow, viewers, a really early Mark 1 Granada. This is a 72-73. It's a 3 litre with the Essex engine. This looks really kind of unmolested actually. It's not the same as one in the Sweeney because that actually was a console, not a Granada. This one's an auto. Yeah, it's a GXL. Before the gears came out. Very nice. Yeah, 3 litre GXL, which was kind of at the top of the range really. I'm actually supposed to be driving one of these quite soon on the channel. One thing I have driven though already is there's a Stag in this sort of colour. This is a Mark II, it's not a Mark 1. 1974-75 registration with just one interior light as opposed to two. That's the way I tell them apart. This one's a manual, the one I drove was an auto. And yeah, they make a lovely noise, these, absolutely fantastic. Also probably making a nice noise is this 2016 5 litre V8 Mustang. Different type of V8 noise, but nevertheless most enjoyable. And then Mark III Capri. This, I think we've seen this before, views. Some place, probably here or something like that, one of the local shows. 2 litre S. Supplied by Premium Motors on the Isle of Wight. Yes, Isle of Wight registration. Fantastic. That's probably a replica sticker, but very nice. The 2 litre S did last until 1984, so that looks pretty good. For the Z4, how about a Z3? This one, I don't know. I'm guessing it might be a 4-cylinder, but I don't know actually. Somebody might be able to tell me by looking at the reg check or something. Panther Calista, from the time that Sanyong actually owned Panther. This is the successor to the Panther Lima. This one is a 1986-87 car with the Ford Cologne V6 in it and a beige leather interior with wood. I do like a nice beige leather interior, and we like the sound of the Ford Cologne V6 on this channel, viewers, particularly the nice 2.8, which is a favourite. Then we have Land Rover Series 2A. I think this is the 109 inch wheelbase. It's sort of decked out a bit to look like the one from the Italian job, I think. We had one of these in Italia, didn't they? Look at that, sort of got the big sort of pop-up roof on it. 2019 Abarth 595. We see these all the shows around here. And then this one, gosh, it's either a very late Series 2A or that's a very early Series 3. I'm not actually sure, viewers. Answers in the comment section below. Goodness me. This place is getting crazy. It's a good job that restaurant across the road is actually not in operation at the moment, because otherwise there really would be no space for anything at all. Let me just make sure I'm not getting run over. So there's a very early Range Rover here. It's a 72. This one is just the original 3.5 V8 manual. I don't think it's a Suffix A. I think it's a bit too late for that. See actually if it even says on the side of here if it's a Suffix. It's not restored, original paintwork. Wow. And an overdrive that was fitted in the 1970s. That's remarkable, and you can see the interior that you could just hose out. Another Mark II Escort here. Check the road before we move out. Yes, 1978 to 1979. I don't know whether it actually even says what model it's supposed to be. It's got an RS2000 front end on it, so it could be an RS2000. So we're getting professional vibes here, viewers. You've seen a Mark III Capri, and we've also seen an RS2000, or what I think is one. And then we've got some very special stuff over here. Look at what we have. Oh my gosh, viewers. a 1985 to 86 Jaguar XJS, and it's the sort of targa top one before the full convertible came out, and it's a manual. Wow. Yeah, it's the XJS-C with the 3.6 engine. That's pretty good, isn't it, viewers? Don't know if that's a sort of two-tone beige or something. Actually, the middle bit's not leather, so we'll have to not say it's a complete beige leather interior with wood. Ooh, very nice. Look at this. Aston Martin V8 Saloon. Oh, and that is dark. I think it's dark blue with beige leather interior and wood. That very much meets with my approval, viewers. So you know, what's good enough for Rowan Atkinson is good enough for me, I think. Right, let's go to the other side of here. Just sort of casually in here is a 1995-96 TVR Griffith 500, just sort of casually parked in here. That's pretty nice, viewers. I like that. The sort of evening sun is actually making a lot of these cars look fantastic. Another Mark 1 Escort here, 1600 GT. Is that a real trim level for one of these, viewers? And then to Mexico. I don't know, viewers. I could be wrong, but that to me looks like it might have been something else before it was made into like a Mexico type car. But you know, still nice though. What's that? 72, 73. And then a Consul Capri. This one is kind of rare survivor. A lot of these just rotted into nothing, and they weren't at all sort of common. Even in the day, they were quite expensive. They just rotted away to sort of nothing. They were cars with styling that dated very, very quickly. It's very fashionable when they came out in '61, but like the Consul Classic that came out with it, they just didn't do the numbers. They didn't do the sort of profitability that Ford wanted, so they were discontinued in 1964. Triumph GT6, very nice. This is in lovely condition. It's probably actually better than when it left the factory. This, I think this is a Mark 1 GT6, so it would be. Think about this. This is 1968, 1967, 68, probably a 67. I think it was a Mark 1, and then it says Nuova Cinquecento, because in '57 when this came out, they were the second generation of Cinquecento. The Topolino was the first one, which came out in the 30s, but was still being sold into the 50s. Quite an early one with the doors the other way round. Looking pretty original, really. Obviously imported from Italy, I imagine, or somewhere like that. Don't know what year that is. And then down here we've got some other stuff. Yeah, we can walk this side. Very late Ford Crown Victoria, in fact one of the very last. They were discontinued around 2011, 2012, I think, these. And this is a 2011. Of course, it's a Police Interceptor. Obviously, tons of people bought these after they finished their service lives in America and replaced by other types of car. There's something else down there, but we'll go down this sort of row here. Chrysler Crossfire convertible. I've driven a Crossfire actually. It was a coupe one. Certainly a car that looks alright. The engineering though is, well, have to watch my review of that, won't you? Another one of these Griffith 500s. This is a very late one. I think they made these into the 2000s. This is number 1 of 100 special edition. So yeah, probably about 2000, something like that. Again, classic looking car. 1966 Jaguar E-Type fixed head coupe. It's not a 2+2 this. It is just a normal fixed head coupe in that sort of classic sort of powder blue colour. That is special, isn't it? And then the Porsche Cayman. Don't know what year this is. It's a pretty modern one, I think. Whoops. Yeah. I almost fell off a loose stone there, viewers. It's sort of thing that happens on the channel all the time, isn't it? Right, I think that's about it. I might have to leave soon and free up a parking space here. But thank you very much indeed, once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Like the video, comment below, and we shall see you again soon for more incorrect information.